The Bitcoin price is in a very dangerous position right now, and we could be on the verge of a massive dump for Bitcoin and the whole crypto market. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And before you all start hating on me for being bearish, watch the whole video because I'm going to go through the bearish scenario and the bullish scenario. I'm not saying this bearish scenario is guaranteed to play out, but we need to be prepared for whichever scenario ends up happening. So calm down, relax, keep your shirt on. You can delete that hateful comment you were in the process of writing and just watch the whole video. We're going to go through bearish scenario and then the bullish scenario so we can be prepared for whatever happens. So first we're going to look at the bearish scenario. So right now, I think we're on the verge of what could be a nasty dump. So we're going to look at some of the bearish signs in the chart. So right now on the monthly candles, this monthly candle in 17 hours will close. And so it looks like we're going to close a pretty nasty monthly candle here. Massive wick to the upside. Looks eerily similar to the top of 2021. So not the best sign. Could indicate we could see a big dump here. Not guaranteed, of course, but definitely doesn't look pretty. You know, it's not guaranteed that this means we're going to dump, but definitely doesn't look great. Now, if we zoom in a bit, well, I will mention that there's a bullish scenario to this as well. We'll cover that shortly. But zooming in on the daily, you can see we've had this strong support at about 92,000, and we've been getting nice bounces off of it. Got a nice bounce here, real nice bounce here, strong bounce here, strong bounce here. Now we're back down on that support once again, but we're not seeing a strong bounce. And so this could indicate that this support is getting soft, mushy, weaker, whatever you want to call it. And the support may not hold this time because the more you test a support, the weaker it gets. And eventually, if you test it too many times, it will break. So we could be at that point right now. If we do break the support at 92,000, you can see there isn't really any support in this whole channel here. So we could dump all the way back down to 69,000 potentially. So if we zoom in here on the 4 hour, you can see this a little more clear, what I was talking about. So like we came down, tested it back here about 10 days ago, strong bounce, came down again, strong bounce. Now today we've come down. It looked like we were going to get a strong bounce, but we immediately just came right back down, and now we're just sitting currently on the support pretty much, and we're not seeing a bounce. So the support's looking pretty soft, pretty weak. You know, when the support is solid, you get strong bounces off of it. When the support gets soft, you kind of just stick to it like a rock in mud, and then you could see the price just sink below it. So basically what this is showing us back here, people were eager to buy at these levels, and so we quickly shot back up at these levels. Now we're back down at 92,000, but we're not seeing people eager to buy this price level this time. And so if there's not buyers, you're just going to sit on the support, and then all it takes is a surge of selling and down you go. So we're in a precarious position for Bitcoin right now, where if we don't start recovering upwards soon, we could see the big dump start. So that's really the bearish scenario. Of course, this isn't guaranteed to happen. I'm now going to talk about some of the more bullish signs we could look for. So starting out back here on the monthly, so this candle, it's not great looking, but if you look back to January 2021, we have a very similar situation here where we broke out to new all-time highs. This is the end of 2020. Broke out to new all-time highs. We had these three big green candles, and then the fourth candle here put a big wick to the upside. So if we look currently, what's going on? We broke to new all-time highs, three big green monthly candles. And now the fourth candle, we have a big wick to the upside. And the only difference here is this one's red. Last time it was green. But overall, it looks extremely similar to where we were last time at pretty much the exact same point in the cycle, almost exactly 4 years ago, end of 2020. Right now it's 2024, end of 2024. So exact same part in the cycle. It's looking exactly the same, almost just slightly different. And so what happened last time? The next month we shot up from 32,000 up to 58,000. And so potentially, if it plays out just like it did last cycle, so far it's playing out almost exactly the same. If that continues, then next month we could see a massive pump up to maybe 126,000, 150,000, something like that. So there's a bullish scenario you could look at here. And then if we go in on the weekly, you can see if we do break the support, we don't necessarily have to dump to 69,000. We do have the weekly EMA ribbon, which would start giving us support around 83,000. So we could potentially see a bounce there and maybe just have a quick fake out to the downside and then rocket right back up. So there's that to consider as well. And then if you go on the daily, you can see we have not only the horizontal support here, but also the daily EMA ribbon supporting us. And so while the support isn't looking very strong right now, support is still support. So we got to treat it as support until it is broken. So most people get bearish when we're at support, but when you're at support, that's when you should be bullish, and you should get bearish and when you get up to the resistance. So support is currently still holding, so there's no need to panic yet, but I would be cautious because at this point it's not clear what way we're going to go. Could go either way. I'm still slightly leaning more towards the bullish scenario. I think a big dump here that's a more unlikely scenario. And I think it's more likely we stay in this channel and eventually break to the upside. So if we can break 100,000, then we're going to probably quickly shoot right up to like 126,000. So that's what we'll be looking out for. I think if we can hold this support, I don't think we're going to see a big breakout to the upside this week, maybe next week. But probably the most likely scenario is we go sideways for the next week, and then maybe in a week or two we do see the breakout to the upside. But we'll see what happens. We got to keep an eye on the support here around 92,000. And of course, if we break that support, then we could see a rather nasty dump, which in the short term, that would be very painful. But long term, it would just give us amazing buying opportunities, because Bitcoin dumps down here to 69,000. Then altcoins are going to see 30, 40, even 50% dumps. And so you'll be able to get amazing entries on those coins. And then as the bull run continues next year, you should make massive gains off that if we do see the dump. But we'll see what happens. And this dump's totally possible, because from the top it is about a 35% dump, 36% dump. And Bitcoin's been known for doing up to 40% dumps during a bull market, and the bull market just continuing onwards. So that's definitely on the table. Doesn't mean the bull market would be over or anything. We could see that dump and then rocket up to 200,000 over the next few months or over the next year. So we'll see what happens. But here in the short term, I'm just keeping a close eye on this support level here. If we do see it break, then watch out for that bigger dump. We could possibly see a wick down to fake people out and then continue upwards. We'll see what happens, but keeping an eye on this. So right now I'm just being cautious and seeing which way Bitcoin decides to go. Nobody knows right now whether we're going to see that dump or continue upwards. So I'll just be cautious. It's more of a wait and see moment before taking any big action. Let me know what you guys think's going to happen for Bitcoin and crypto over the next month or two. I still think, regardless of whatever happens here, I think next year we're going to see much higher prices for Bitcoin. And at some point next year, we're going to see a massive altcoin season. So I'll be making more videos soon about what altcoins I'm looking at. So subscribe if you want to see those. And yeah, let me know your price predictions, what you think is going to happen, what coins you're looking at. And I'll catch y'all later.